Hello everyone, welcome to the hashtag Team Tiny Spring Flowers blog hop. I'm so glad that you joined me today. I am sharing a card that I created using products from the Greetery and featuring inks from Pink Fresh Studio. I am starting this card out using Pretty Postmark. That's where that stamp and postage meter stamp came from, and then you'll see that I'm going to put some lines on my postcard, and those come from Papertrey ink pleasing envelopes. I am going to stamp the postage stamp in light blue, which is Slumber, and then I'm going to stamp the remaining pieces with Metropolis, and I am also going to stamp the Sketchbook Roses stamp in Metropolis. So this card is completely inspired by a sample that Jill Foster recently shared in her Penny Black release video, and I will be sure to list that in the description box below. I had recently purchased this Pretty Postmark and had not used my Sketchbook Roses set from the Greetery, and when I saw her card, I knew immediately that I wanted to create a similar card, not 100%, but a similar card to hers using these products. I just want to talk a little bit about our group, Team Tiny. We're a group of small craft channels who have banded together to support each other in building our channels. By hopping along with us and subscribing, liking, and commenting, on our channels, you're encouraging each person to continue creating inspirational cards for you on YouTube. And we just all want to thank you so much for your support. We hope that as you hop along, that if you haven't already subscribed to somebody's channel and you like their content, that you would do so. We have some channels that are reaching a little bit over maybe the halfway point to reaching 1,000 subscribers. Once you reach 1,000 subscribers, then you will start getting monetized and ads will begin to show. So each of the videos that you see in this hop will not have any ads in them. And again, we just want to thank you so much for supporting us. This has been a very fun endeavor, and I've gotten to know some of the ladies in this group, and they're all fantastic, and all of them are unique and talented in their own way. So I hope that you enjoy this particular hop. It's near and dear to my heart. If you are a subscriber to my channel, you know two things about me. First is that I love the Greetery. Betsy Veldman is one of my favorite designers. And secondly, that I love florals. So I do some scene cards, and I enjoy doing those, but florals have my heart. I just love the elegance of them, and you will see a lot of florals on my channel. So I just had a little piece of that rose, that Sketchbook Roses stamp that I needed to restamp because I didn't quite get the point on there. This has a stamping guide, and this is my second time stamping it out. I tried it once freeform without looking at the stamping guide and definitely needed to redo this. And when I did use the stamping guide, I was able to line it up much better. It was super easy to line up knowing what you were doing. I had completely forgotten that Betsy had started adding those stamping guides to her products. So it was ever so helpful in this project. I am going to lay out the leaves, and the bottom layer is going to be mint, which is a light green. And I had recently purchased these Pink Fresh Studio inks, and I have to say I am head over heels in love with them. I love the colors, I love the vibrancy. everything about these. One thing that's fantastic about them, similar to Altenew and maybe a couple other companies, is that they actually come in 4 packs. So you have a light, 2 mediums, and a dark. So it makes this layered stamping so much easier, and it doesn't require a whole lot of thinking as to putting inks together. And I love it. So if you have not tried these inks, I did purchase, as you can see, the ink cubes, and I thought that they were pretty reasonable. And so I would highly recommend them. This Sketchbook Rose is not meant to be filled in all the way. It does have some white space in it, but it is such a beautiful floral arrangement. And if you haven't checked out the Greetery, just as with the Pink Fresh inks, I would recommend that you do so, because Betsy is just a talented designer, and I think she really brings something unique to the industry. For those of you that are regular followers of mine, you know that I am back from my cruise, and I have to tell you, it was amazing. We did miss one of our ports. Back to the card real quick. I am stamping that Slumber, the same color that I used for the stamp. I am using in that floral, and then I'm going to stamp the middle piece, and that is the highlight, and it's going to be, or actually the darker piece, and it's going to be Blue Jay, and that Blue Jay is gorgeous. So back to my cruise, we had really good weather. We did have winds going into our first port. So our first port was a Royal Caribbean private island. It's called Cocoa Bay. It has water slides and beaches and, restaurants and stuff like that. Unfortunately, the wind was so strong that the captain decided that if he put the gangplank down, then water would be coming over it, and he was concerned for the safety of passengers, and so he did pull out early. That being said, that meant that he pulled into Puerto Rico, which was our second port, early, and we were able to get off and spend a little bit more time there. And I have been to Puerto Rico before. My son played in a baseball tournament over there, and we were hosted by people in the town of Sabana Grande, and I have to tell you that the Puerto Ricans are super generous and open-hearted people. They fed us like no other when we were there the first time. This second time, we went to a restaurant called Reese's, and if you follow me on Instagram, you were able to see the fish tacos that my husband got, and he swears that they are the best fish tacos that he has ever had in his entire life. They had a piece of cod, fried cod in there, and then it had a ton of crab on top, along with some cabbage type lettuce filling. But he said that it was amazing. I wanted pinchos. Pinchos is kind of like a chicken kebab that the Puerto Ricans make, and I searched high and low before we went to Reese's to eat, or Racy's, however you say it, and I could not find it. So I had a steak salad, and after I got out of there, we decided to go for a walk along the beach, and there, because we had asked many people where the pinchos were, and everyone said, no pinchos in San Juan, no pinchos in San Juan. So we walked around and came upon a pincho cart, and there's a picture of me on Instagram, and I was stuffed. That salad had filled me up, but I ate a pincho. Had to. Love them. There's like different sauces that you can put on them. I put a guava sauce on mine, and it was well worth stuffing myself for, and it is huge for $3. Total deal. If you ever go to Puerto Rico, eat a pincho. My recommendation. On those leaves, the second color was Meadow. That's the darker green that I used. And now I am using some of the sentiments from that Sketchbook Roses set, and I am going to stamp them in that Blue Jay, which is the darker blue. And I'm going to stamp that twice to get a really good impression. And the sentiment obviously says you make life more beautiful, and I thought that putting it where you would normally put the address was just the appropriate place for this. Now I'm going to take this out and I'm going to start cutting my card down. And when I cut my card down, I make a mistake. Yeah. I thought that I was cutting it to 5.375 by 4.125, and I ended up cutting the 5-inch side all the way down to 5 inches. So you'll see that I start lining it up on a gray piece of paper. That right there is Papertrey ink Blueberry Sky, and then the gray background paper that I end up using is Smokey Shadow, also from Papertrey ink. So here's where I overcut, and I realize that I overcut, and so I just make amends and mat it in the gray, which I actually think was a godsend because I like the card much better with that gray in the background. When I stamped the postcard, I did use Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock. Here you see I'm cutting it down to match. Maybe I did 4 inches or 3.75 is what happened, and so I had to cut some more off and make it match. So my panels, Blueberry Sky, which is the card base, the finished card base is 5.5 by 4.25. This Smoky Shadow is 5.375 by 4.125. I just wanted an eighth of an inch of the blue showing from the card base. And then my Nina Solar White panel, which has the postmark on it, is 5 by 3.75. I thought about adding some fun foam to the back to add some dimension, but I decided not to. I decided to keep this pretty simple, and I really am happy with the way that this card turned out. If you are not a subscriber, as I said earlier, it really helps if you like what you see and you click subscribe. If you have any comments below, leave them in the box. I would love to chat with you about whatever questions you may have. And I just want to thank you for watching. I am going to just add a little bit of splatter to the card. I thought that it was still a little bit too stark. I'm going to cover up the postmark and the address, and I'm going to take the Blue Jay. I think I start with the Slumber. I start with the Slumber, and I think I put it just a little bit too much water, and it was a little bit too light, sorry, not white. And I go ahead and add the Blue Jay, there you go, and I get a more concentrated color. So like I said, if you have any comments, please leave them in the comment box below. Be sure to click like. Let me know, are you a fan of the Greetery? Are you a fan of florals? What's your favorite type of style for card making? And there's a look at my final card. Thanks so much for watching. Please be sure to hop along with everybody else. Have a great day. Bye-bye.